This building here, just right behind me, used to be the main post office in Greenock. A huge big place. It's still, as you can see, it is a big building. It used to be a beautiful building on the inside until this guy Witherspoon's got hold of it and turned it into a pub. In 1965, as you can see just up here underneath the bridge, you'll see the John Street buildings. They're white, covered in pebble dash at the moment. They used to be red sandstone buildings years ago when I was a wee boy. And it used to be there's rail tracks and everything, but we can talk about that one later on. It's where this big empty space is, and that used to be factory. There used to be a factory in there. I can't remember what it was they were making, but you used to see the guys coming in and out the gates. We get up into the second close, and we'll be closer to where I can show you the flat I used to stay in with my granny. It's that long since I've been here, the place has really changed when you look. You got bushes here, this was all open gardens. There wasn't any trees, there was none of these. This wasn't here, this was just all straight. And as you can see at the bottom there where they've painted it grey, there's red sandstones under there. So you can still see some of the old features, the beautiful looking buildings, and then they stuck all these stuff over the top of it. I can't understand why, you know. It was a far better looking place. If you look it up in Belleville Street, them sandstone buildings, I live in them ones up there, just as you up the back. And they used to look like that. They should have left these like that. And far more attractive buildings. Right up here in the corner, as you can see, that very top flat there was where I stayed with my granny, just up there. It's all changed now. That wee flat where the two dogs are, there used to be an old copper aerial for the radios back in them times, and it used to see it, because I said, small man, what's that? And he says, that's for the, this old copper hanging out, it was for the old transistor radios. It's all changed. But everything changes, even I've changed. That's just working with these guys, you know. When I lived back here in the 60s, this wasn't a peace path. It's a peace path now, but I'll tell you something, when I was living here, nobody got any peace. They were the days when I was out to, I was very disruptive, young at the time, always mischievous, and I was the black sheep in the family, you know. I knew I've suddenly turned into a white sheep. I prefer being a black sheep, it's more fun. You can have a good laugh, you know. Believe it or not, I'm actually older than some of these trees you see there, eh? And look at the state of them. I look better than the trees. Right here is where I used to stand as a wee boy and watch the bowlers playing. This place fascinated me. They used to fire that cannon off when at the start of the tournament. They used to fire this cannon off. Just put a blank shot into it, you know, and then fire that off, and that was the season started for the bowls, you know. That used to be all shiny, this wee bowl. And apparently the story behind that is when they won the overall season, apparently it was that bowl won the season, and just to remember it, they planted that bowl in there, because this had just been concreted, so they put that bowl in there, and it's been there since I don't know how long. So it must, I don't see another one there, so it must have been the only time they ever won it. Right here where you see this used to be flat land. It used to run level, and none of these trees were here. And behind there was a big school, and well, I got into some trouble in there. And the headmaster pulled me into the office one day and said to me, I hear you've got a penknife, and I said aye. So he says, I'll give you this apple for the penknife. So I gave him a penknife quite happily. It had no blade in it. And when the headmaster discovered, he took his apple back. Took his apple off me because it never had a blade in it. That was one of the younger kids in there. Said, Saunderson's got a knife. He pulled me in and I quite happily handed him over when I seen the apple. No blade in it. Still never got my apple though. A miserable sod. They were all miserable in the 60s. I was the only one that was laughing all the time. I'm still doing it now. Why no? Hey, life's too short not to laugh. I was born laughing and I'll die laughing.